Bussi. I'm from South Africa. Present myself. I'm kind of a person who likes going out, having fun, and learning. Yeah.
What did you do before?
I was a volunteer at Love Life. It's an NGO in South Africa for HIV prevention.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And now, if you have to present your country in two sentences, what would you say?
I would actually define it in words. That would be Rainbow Nation, Ubuntu. There's this term that we use in our country.
Yeah.
That is togetherness, unity, versatility, and things like that. Because our country, it has like kind of different people, different kinds of religions, and all the kinds. It's a rainbow nation. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And now, like, if you want to present one aspect of your culture, what would you choose?
Definitely go for music, maybe.
Yeah.
In my culture, they like to sing, they like dancing, like going with the rhythm and stuff, with different kinds of music that they have. They sing without instruments, singing with their hands, and that is called umombelo. My culture is Xhosa in South Africa, one amongst the 11 official languages that we have. People they have their own way of dancing or singing along to music.
Because of the language, or just...
I think it's part of who they are, their religion, their traditional beliefs, or how they get groomed. I don't know, maybe.
So then, like, you already started talking about languages, so just tell me a bit about it.
About South Africa?
The languages.
The languages are 11
Okay.
in South Africa. There's Xhosa, Zulu, English, Afrikaans, Sotho, Tswana, Venda, Ndebele, Tsonga.
And you can speak every language?
Almost like 5 or 6 I can speak, but I think in most languages I can hear when someone speaks to me and I can understand what they are saying, but I don't know almost every language.
So what's your language?
Xhosa.
And it's in which region?
In the Eastern Cape, that's where it originates in South Africa. And then it is also found in the Western Cape, Cape Town, where there's 3 languages that are mostly used in Cape Town. That would be English, Afrikaans, and Xhosa.
And have you also like an official language so that everybody understands in South Africa?
I think English, because that is what we use for office purposes or for filling forms. At school, we are taught in English. That's how we learn. Other subjects, we are taught in English. Yeah.
Now, when we talk about history, like, what's the origin of your country?
The things like that fascinate people about our country, or when this whole fascinating with people wanting to know more about us was with the important happenings that happened earlier in the 17th century when people from Europe came, the English and the Dutch going to South Africa and doing the barter thing when they exchanged a spoon for a cow. That's when apartheid started, and I know that it started in the Orange Free State. It's a province, Bloemfontein in South Africa, and the Transvaal, which is the Eastern Cape, the Transkei region, and then it ran all over around our country, and then that's when it started.
Okay, and now you can talk about like when it ended, like the most important happenings.
Yeah, the most important would be when they freed Nelson Mandela in 1990, and the first elections in South Africa, the first free and fair elections, were in 1994. That's when people got a chance in 27 April. They got a chance to vote, to say what they want, unlike before, because then they had to they had no say. They had to carry a small book called a dompas. That is when you you show it around to people if you are black, though, because there was a difference between black and white. There were white areas, white toilets, white everything, and then black differences. Blacks had to live on poor sidelines places, have no say about what is happening around them. And I think to start the end has been on 1976 when the young people decided to fight against it and protest against it. And then they protested and fought, and then Nelson Mandela was freed in 1990, and the first free elections were held in 1994, and he became president.
So that was the end of the apartheid.
Yes,
that was the end. Just say, what is the apartheid?
It's not being free, not being able to move around or do whatever you want to do. Or that's what it is to me.
How does the globalization influence your country and also the people? Everybody in the world is connected a bit like that.
I think we get to a person who has knowledge shares the knowledge. Like on Facebook, for example, if a person knows something or has been through something, if they shared maybe to people, others get to learn of their other person's experience. I think it does influence in a way, because you get to see how positive people are growing, how people learn, and if people go through the same struggles as you, so you get to be a better person and know that what you're going through is normal, so that gets you to achieve more and want to get better in life as well.
That changed also the people.
Yes, it does. I think so.
So like they are like open-minded to the World Wide Web and to the world around them.
Yes, I think so.
And so now when we talk about the society, like what are important values in South Africa?
In South Africa, that would be Ubuntu. What I told you earlier on about, it's togetherness, people loving each other, accepting each other for who they are, and I think it's the spirit of unity, amongst each other. I don't know, caring, sharing. If a person has something, they give it to you, and they don't expect anything back. The love, the priceless smiles. People would greet you on the road without knowing you. That's one thing that they value, that you greet someone when you see them on the road, even though you don't know them. If it's an older person, you have to say good morning, mother, even though it's not your mother, even though it's the first time you see that person. Like kids in my country, because of the differences between the poor and the rich, they all wear a school uniform, so that you don't see who is different than the other one. They wear the same clothes, would be a skirt and a shirt that is of a certain color for each in every different school. That is made so that the kids don't get to see that, okay, this one is poor, this one is rich, with the difference that our country has here. With skin color, blacks and whites, they're still that, and I think it'll stay for a while in our country, because with us having heard our parents tell us about apartheid and what happened to them, what white people did to them, and there's still that anger of what happened maybe before, like towards our parents, but we try to close that gap and that separation and work along together. So when having, like, each and every time when there's supposed to be votes, there's all those fears of the past having to happen again, with their hopes that one day we'll be together, that one day our country will change as well, and that we can, have our successes and our dreams, what we want to achieve in life, have opportunities to get whatever.
And now, like, when we talk about, like, France, why a foreign country, why France, and why Dijon?
Well, for me, France chose me. It was not, I did not select a country. I didn't get a choice to pick, I should take this country or the other one. With me, it was the country that chose me, so I can't say.
Why did you want to leave your country?
Well, I wanted to learn more because this was an opportunity for me to learn. I wanted to grow myself. I wanted to know more. I wanted to, to discover new things, new cultures. I wanted to see the difference. I wanted things that would inspire me. Yeah.
And like, were you afraid?
Yes, I must say I was very afraid because having to leave my family and everyone else, I was so scared because I don't know. It might happen that I'm going somewhere that I don't know. I don't know the place I'm going. I don't know what it's like. I don't know how the people are going to take me. How are they going to are they going to accept me? Are they going to be prejudiced, like to prejudice against me? So I was just open for anything because I didn't know how they're going to receive me. Yeah, I was very scared. When I got here, I just saw it being so great. The monuments around me, the place, the trees, but the weather, it was very cold. So I've never been so exposed to that kind of a weather that I got in here in January. So it was so cold. I was kind of like regretting a bit with the cold that I first found on my first day when I got here. I was like, oh my God, this is like I put myself in the freezer or something. But it was good. Cool. Great experience.
Did you discover something you had not known before, like would attract your attention the most here in France?
Well, I must say the monuments or the things that are here around. I got to see that people here, they value their history and the happenings that happened before. So with everywhere that you go, you're going to see something, some statue of some person that had done something before, maybe something they believe in, like the art trial. Everything that was here just fascinated me, and I wanted to know more. Yeah.
This is the Petit Arc de Triomphe in Dijon. I was fascinated by it, seeing just a thing that is built and standing, and I didn't know what it is, but I wanted to know what's it about or what's behind it. And I asked someone, and they told me this was the one in Paris, the big one, was built by Napoleon after they won the battle many centuries ago before. So I love it, and I think it's a great achievement for a person to show their successes. For me, it inspires me to succeed in life, in things, and things like that. That's why I love it.
And like your first weeks, how was your daily life?
Well, I thought it was a bit difficult because I was scared that maybe I'll having to buy my first bus ticket, having to walk around and ask people because it's in a different language. So it was like kind of like difficult to adapt, but I managed.
What do you do here as work?
Well, now we're working at we worked at a cultural center. When we got here, we learned about theater. When we go to volunteer in some places, we get to learn about what they do in that particular place. For example, it's more art, in an art way of things.
Like you're here, you're doing a volunteer service.
Yes, it is.
Which picture of France did you have before you stay here, and like, is it right, is it false?
Well, before I came to France, I came with that mentality of people being pretentious, and with everything that I heard about France was so inside the box. When I got here, I got to see the real kind of a people, that they are welcoming if you're willing to do things with them. They are willing to help you where you want help. I've learned, a lot of things about their time. They don't want to waste. I don't want you to waste their time. They're always like punctual and things like that.
When you talk with people here, what picture do they have about your country? What do they think about?
Mostly stereotypes. Like, I have come here with my expectations about the country. Most people think my country is like in the wild, Like there's no houses, we don't have clothes and things like that. Excuse me. And they asked me about the Bushmen. Like there are people in South Africa that stay in the mountain in the western province. They asked me about them. They think Mandela, or they think South Africa. They think famous musicians like Miriam Makeba, and all those kind of things. They don't know exactly like the real country or the real happenings. Yeah.
So now, how do you pass your daily life? What do you do the weekend? Did you travel a lot? Like a bit. Describe what you're doing now. Are you happy?
Yeah, I am happy because I am learning a lot.
Did you develop new things or which?
A lot of new things because I went to four different structures, and in all those different structures I got to learn different things. I must say, working in an art center called Reussner, I learned about theater. They told me about different characters, different things a character need to do on stage. Going to excuse me, La Peniche Concau, I get to learn about food, different kinds of food, and then when they were planning for an event, preparing the stage, getting to put the microphones, which microphone works for which musical instrument and things like that. Those skills I didn't have before. Yeah, that I can express myself, maybe. I think so, that I can speak and make a change in someone's life, because I've done some poetry for some people and they asked me to help to give them out so that they read for other people, that I can make a change, that I can make a difference. Yeah, that's what I've learned. On my spare time, I like to sit around here, listen to myself, and hear the trees and the quietness. Just be by myself, think a lot about myself, what I want in life. I feel free and at ease when I'm here. Yeah.
And when you compare France and South Africa, what are the main differences and where things which are similar?
I think politics, it's not the same in a way, because with us, our politics, no, it's kind of like different from my look though. When I look at South Africa's like politics, it's very funny, it's so out there, it's so media. But here, when it's election time, when people want people to cast votes for them, it's not like they don't go everywhere. I've never seen them while I was here. They always told me that in May there's going to be elections, so you're going to see them going around, or you'll see on TV. But it was there, not as in my country. In my country, when it's going to be election time, you see the people going house to house, like to my house, coming and asking, please, can you vote for me? And then we're going to do this and this and this, making promises. But it's not the same here.
Other differences?
The cultures, the people, the way people behave, the differences. That's a difference. And with fashion as well, I think there's all different. It's
Why?
different.
What?
Well,
French fashion.
No, the way the French wear their things is not the same as with us. With us, when they have a certain kind of a fashion, they follow the trend that whole time. So here they concentrate in different kinds of style. A person could be nice in a different thing, and the other person could be nice in the different thing. It's not about being focused on one particular thing like they do. Yeah.
Are there things similar in between France and South Africa?
Yeah, I think people here are welcoming.
Like in South Africa?
As in my country as well. That is like the same. I think for me, I think they have the spirit of Ubuntu as well, even though they don't know it. They like to share. They've shared information. they've shared their food, their different kinds of their lifestyle. They share. They like to share things, or they have shared with me. I think the thing that's also the same is the way young people live their lives. In a way, it is the same. At some level, yeah, it is the same.
Okay, cool. And do you think it's important to adapt yourself when you're in a different country, but at the same time to keep your original identity?
I think so, because it makes life much easier. You get to do the things the way they are done there, but not forgetting who you are or where you come from or what you believe in. I think so. I think it makes life much easier.
So, to which point you adapt yourself, and which attitudes of your home country will you keep forever? You and friends. To which point you adapt yourself?
I think to a point where I don't know, when I blend in with the people, try to converse in a way, like with someone whom I know that they can't, I try my best to accommodate them and give the knowledge that I have of the French language. Yes.
And which attitude will you keep forever? Like your
I
original
think
identity?
with the way people handle themselves, I also want to be that kind of a person. I have learned that when you see a person, you don't judge them. With my country, it's so everyone is into everybody's business, and it gets so hectic. But with people here, when you're doing your thing there, you just doing it for you, and no one is like concentrating to you, or people is just busy doing their thing. So I think I have kept that, and I have learned that, and I think I'm going to do that.
And do you think that the intercultural exchange has an important role in our lives today, also comparing to the past?
I think so. Because then, before they could only dream of coming here, they could only imagine what it is here, they could only think how people live here. But now I think it makes a difference, because I have come from my country to here to learn how people live here, so that I get to tell people in my country, inspire them, maybe teach them things that I have learned here. And the people who come from France to South Africa, they get to learn about South African things, how things are done in South Africa, what they think is important to take certain things that they see that are inspiring for them, and then implement them when they come back to their countries.
But do you still think that the intercultural exchanges that we have shows just a limited picture of different culture?
Well, I do, because we don't, you don't get to, maybe if they go to my country, they won't get to go to the poorest of the poor to get to see their real life. Maybe they'll just go to town and stay in town and just come back thinking they know South Africa, without having to explore and go around to see like each and every side of the country, like me.
Do you think like that's a problem, that we have a limited picture of the culture?
I think so, because I think with more knowledge and discovering the countries would do more help. Maybe it would bring some change or some difference or some knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah. And in your opinion, which conditions are necessary to create a complete exchange, which is an advantage for everybody?
Well, for me, that would be a young person having to travel around the whole country, get to see the advantages, its advantages and its disadvantages, its poor and its rich. It's, everything being exposed to them, so that they get a platform to think.
So do you see already a progress?
Well, this is a start. I think this is great, because it's a start.
What is great?
The fact that we're here and we're learning from now. Maybe in a few years it will expand, and then the others that are coming after us are going to get a chance to discover more, which we haven't, to go to other places which we haven't seen, and get a chance to see what we would have hoped maybe to see.
And now, personally, when you're interested in a new culture, what do you do to get a complete picture that shows all the aspects of a culture?
I
try?
go to Google and then I ask questions. Whenever I see someone, I ask, why is there such a thing? Why did you believe in such a thing? What's the history about a certain statue or certain thing that fascinated me at that time?
At the end, just tell me one like sentence or something like that, an expression you really like in your language. So just to finish, but nothing.
In my language, a sentence.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can say just a sentence in my culture or in my language. That is, igqirha lendlela ngoqongqothwane. Yeah.
Parce que normalement on remarque pas que le monde peut être comme ça. Seulement parfois on peut fuir le quotidien, on peut entrer dans un monde caché. Normalement on remarque pas que le monde peut être comme ça. Seulement parfois on peut fuir le quotidien, on peut entrer dans un monde caché.